Okay, I think we've kind of leveled off here, so that is great. Good afternoon slash evening, everyone. We're so excited to have you. My name is Emily, and I'm a recruiter for Barrett. With me today, I also have Asuka, which I'll go ahead and let her introduce herself to.
Hi, everyone. My name is Asuka James. I am another recruiter for Barrett. Thank you for joining us today.
And then we also have Haley. So go ahead, Haley.
Hi guys, my name is Haley. I am a senior nursing student and I will be here until about 4:30 monitoring that little Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. So if you guys have any questions about nursing, I'll be here to help answer those questions for you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Haley. We're so lucky to have her. So just so you guys know what the format of tonight is going to be. So from 4-ish now, basically to about 4:30, we're going to do a scholarship session just to kind of familiarize you all with how ASU scholarships work, how, what stacks, what doesn't stack, and then the website and whatnot. So we'll go through that information, and then we'll take about a 15-minute break as we get set up to do our live virtual tour. So we'll have Haley unfortunately will have to go and take an exam, but we will have 4 other students come join us for the later evening component, and you'll be able to ask them questions also while they show you around campus. So and there is the dorm component. We will be showing you a dorm room, which is really nice. So that will be from 4:45 to about 5:30, obviously Arizona time. So that's kind of what the setup will be. So if you do have any questions for Haley as like a senior nursing student, please feel free again to leave that in the Q&A area below. We won't be answering that live for the 4 to 4:30 part. I'll answer live any questions about scholarships, or even if you have questions, about the Barrett application, we can definitely chat kind of live about that. But then 4:45 to 5:30, you can let your questions just kind of go because we'll have a lot of students available to answer all those questions and be able to kind of address those concerns. So thank you all again so much for joining us. I hope the session will be helpful for you all. And if there's anything that you are curious about, again, please use the Q&A area and we will do our best to answer every question in there. Okay, so scholarships at the university. Oops, we just went over this. This is really where I'm going to be spending my time this evening-ish, afternoon, evening thing. So I'm going to go ahead and give me a moment here. I'm going to pause my share and then I'm going to pull up the actual website so we can navigate it together. If you want to pull it up on your screen too, so you can just kind of see where everything is, go for it as well. So. Alrighty, so we are, actually, this is not the main page. Let me go back here. So this is the main page for scholarships here. And then, oh, thanks, Asuka, for putting that. Oops, let me resume the share. Here's the main page for scholarships. This is basically where all the tools are, and I think ASU does a pretty good job of being transparent with the costs as much as possible. Since this is all about, scholarships, financial aid, I'll just let you all know that the costs that we have right now are for fall 20, spring 2021. The governing body that takes care of the Arizona public universities, so the 3 of us here in Arizona, they don't vote on our tuition costs or determine actual tuition costs for 2021, 2022, which is when you all would be entering, until May, unfortunately. So keep that in mind as you all are doing your estimates for how much this is going to be. I would just estimate things are going to increase a little bit because it's always better to obviously ballpark up instead of down. So just keeping in mind that what I'm showing you today will be costs for 2021. And then for you all, the actual official amounts will go out probably in May. It's usually after decisions, unfortunately, but that is typically the time frame for everything. So first things first, I think, so recently ASU just updated, if you're not already familiar with this, the scholarship estimator. So hopefully you are familiar with this. If not, I'm glad I get to show you this particular tool. All right. Ooh, there's a question about WUI. I will get to that. So, and it's related to this. So for your scholarship, ASU has determined based off of your core competencies. So as you can see on the screen here, all the different classes that ASU considers for admissions, they're going to have you put in how many years have you taken each of these topics, and then what your GPA is, and then the test score is actually optional. So don't feel, if you cannot access an ACT or an SAT, don't feel pressure to go find one for ASU at least. These are going to be optional for your merit scholarship. So if you don't have your ACT, SAT, ASU will use the grades that you have from these courses to determine what your merit scholarship is going to be. If you do have those scores, then you can send them in, and then that additional factor will get added to the calculation for your merit scholarship. So if you play with all of this, you'll have a decent sense for what that estimate is going to be. If you've already been admitted to the university, there is a high probability that you have received a scholarship letter. So hopefully you have an amount, a dollar amount that you kind of have a sense of for what that number is going to be for next year. And it is a 4-year scholarship. So this I would consider as your base amount for what you're going to be getting from ASU. The rest of what I want to talk about today is how can we like kind of add to that amount, which is I think ideal. If you have taken, so the question here, if we have taken the ACT but are waiting on scores, can you submit them later? Yes, you can. So yes, if you are better able to access an ACT or an SAT in the spring and you want to see if that additional score is going to help with the merit scholarship, you can definitely submit that later. And then this is kind of where the conversation about WUI happens. So it's the Western Undergraduate Exchange. It is for select states on the West Coast, as you would assume from Western Undergraduate Exchange. I know we have folks from all over the country this evening. So with WUI, if you're from one of the Western states or the ones that we've identified, there are certain programs that makes you eligible, and it would automatically be calculated if you select the appropriate major in your financial aid package. So you don't have to apply for it additionally. But here's the thing about WUI though. So I would say merit scholarship greater than, if you will, WUI, because your merit scholarship, no, let me back up. So the WUI program is an excellent program, but it will constrain you to the campus that your major is on, meaning that let's say you're a West student. I can't remember which of their programs have WUI, but let's say you're a West student within one of the WUI programs, but you decide that you want to take a class at like Polytechnic or Tempe, right? You actually can't, like that class would not be eligible for WUI, like you wouldn't be able to apply that. So it ends up not being a very good deal, essentially, for folks who might want to have like a broader like college experience. The other thing is that for just because I know who we invited to this event, y'all are pretty good students, so high probability that you are probably getting a decent scholarship from the university anyways, and that scholarship will probably be equal to what the WUI amount would be. And for those of you who are curious, WUI is basically in-state tuition and a half. And in-state tuition for us is around, I would say like 11,000. So that plus half makes it about what, 16,000-ish, 17,000, somewhere in that ballpark. And then the merit scholarships it will reduce, like if you're getting some of the higher ones, it will reduce it to somewhere close to that amount. But you would have access to all 4 of the Phoenix metropolitan campuses. And as a Barrett student, I would say it's definitely something you want to do because within Barrett, we have classes at all 4 campuses that are really interesting. And so if you want to take any of those courses, the merit scholarship would be the way to go. And then just so you know, both of those options, WUI and merit, they ASU is going to automatically give you the higher one. So, so you don't really have to stress about that. Whatever is higher will be calculated in. And for the most part, I think for all of you who are attending tonight, I think your merit scholarship will be higher than the WUI amount. I hope that helps. I hope that wasn't too confusing. That was a lot. If you do want more information about WUI specifically, definitely reach out to your, you can reach out to me, but I'm going to go ahead and connect you to your ASU representative because they have a little bit more data, or excuse me, knowledge than me about the WUI specifically. I mean, as you know, we're based at the downtown campus. This is a downtown event, and we don't have a lot of WUI programs at downtown. They're mostly at West and the Polytechnic campus. There are a handful here at downtown, but mostly West and Poly are where the WUI programs are. Okay. All right, perfect. So there's another question here about Barrett being test blind. How are you able to send in your test for scholarships? The same way that you would send it in like previously. So you can do it through the College Board website if you didn't already identify us when you had taken the exam. So you can do it through the College Board website, and then you'll send it directly to the university. I think you can just write down the name. I can't remember if there's a code that goes with it, but if you like list Arizona State University, that test score will get sent to us, and that's how it will get considered for merit scholarships. Alternatively, if you send in your official transcripts, assuming your high school puts your official test scores on your transcripts, that's also another way to get that test score to us as well. So kind of two ways there, through College Board, or if it's available through your official high school transcript, you can send it in through your official high school transcript. Okay. Alrighty. So there's another, as a WUI student, is the WUI scholarship the only one I can get, not any academic ones? Again, you're going to get the higher of your scholarships. And so that's the other thing. I think that's a really great segue for the rest of this conversation, which is this little, the main chunk, if you will, of this website, which is that it is our, oops, not this one. Go back. Of this page. This is what I really wanted to show you all. For our students who are not in state, so for our out-of-state friends here, I would say your best bet for additional scholarships would be to see if there are any in your community that will travel with you. So like I said, the merit scholarship is kind of your base amount. And then if you're bringing any from home, definitely, if you're bringing any from home, those should stack on top of your merit scholarship. So it should not be no, let me back up before I get into that. So let's say you get like a $1,000 scholarship from like your local Rotary chapter. That $1,000 would stack on top of the merit scholarship that you're getting. So whether that's WUI or like, again, just like one of the definite amount or the finite amount ones that you get, that should stack on top of the scholarship. So this area, the scholarship search. So I guess the way I describe scholarships with the university is that you have to play to win, if you will. This is more so a question, I think, you earning scholarships and whatnot is more so a question of consistency, less so a question, I think, of qualifications. At least that's what I'm starting to learn after I've been doing this for 10 years. Okay, these are all great questions. I will get to these questions as well. So with this particular page, I would say you want to keep it pretty general. So incoming, I wouldn't filter it past this, incoming first year student. And then you obviously hit search. And then all the different scholarships that are related to incoming first-year students or eligible, you will find them here. A lot of deadlines will fall in January and February. So actually for you all watching this tonight or joining us this evening, this is fantastic timing because you'll find probably the most scholarship opportunities right now, as opposed to if you wait later on in March and April. So just kind of keep that in mind. So this is one spot. Again, it's a play to win situation. So I recommend, I mean, folks always say apply to a lot, but a lot means different things to different people. I would recommend one scholarship a week if you can. I tell students, like, if you want like a big goal, try to do 40 for the year. So that is like a pretty lofty goal. And then again, for our friends who are out of state, some of these should be for out of state, and then also, but there are a lot in here for Arizona students as well. Just kind of keep that in mind. The other thing that I would encourage you to do is, even if you're like, this is a scholarship specifically for like women in, you know, whatever, or it's specifically a scholarship for like this particular group of people, I would say still give it a shot. I think there was one year, I remember very distinctly, there was a scholarship for students from Nebraska, and like no one applied for it, basically. And they were like, just give us anyone, like we'll take anyone, like Nebraska or not. So I would just kind of keep that in mind. So if it's like, it's for Nebraska folks, and you're like, well, technically Wyoming, but you know, you never know. So I would say, again, this is a matter of just consistency and applying to as many as possible. So just to give you like a personal story, I thought a lot as a high school senior was like 5. That's not a lot. But then I did have a colleague who applied to 40, and that's where I got the number from. And she only won like a handful, but was still able to stack the handful that she had into additional aid. Okay, now stacking scholarships. Oh, are all the scholarships on the website renewable? Depends on the scholarship. So each one will have, okay, so let's look at one. Does it really say perforating? Yeah, it does. Okay. I don't know what this is. Okay, this is for STEM students. That's cool. They get, it looks like it's a $500 one-time award for both Arizonans and non-Arizonans. That's exciting. And I would say this looks like it is, since this is not coming from the university, meaning it's not like the college, it's not coming from, since this is STEM, I would say, well, we use the Fulton Schools of Engineering as like an example. Since it's not coming from like engineering, or since we're all downtown here, like the College of Health Solutions, this should be one that would be in addition to your merit aid. So that's the thing with stacking. Some scholarships within this portal will be in addition to, and some scholarships will do more of this sort of action. So let's say you get 10,000 from the university. Sorry, 10 is just easy for me to do math. Let's say you get 10,000 from the university, and you get like this let's say this $500 scholarship was not from this company, but it was from somewhere within ASU. What they'll do is, what may happen is that you'll still, to your bank account, it's still going to be $10,000. But then what happens on the back end is that 9,500 will come from ASU, and then the other 500 will come from this, you know, other scholarship fund essentially. But again, to your bank account, we're still looking at $10,000. So how can you guarantee, like, how do you know if a scholarship, not guaranteed, but how can you know if a scholarship is stackable or not? I would say contact these folks and ask them like how the scholarship works. All of these different scholarships should have contact information. And I would say the main time that you want to be concerned about that is if it is something coming from, like if it's at the College of Health Solutions, then I would definitely want to check and see. Barrett scholarships are also in here. So instead of doing it through this portal though, I'm just gonna go ahead and give you the big list of Barrett scholarships, which is through our website, and I navigate it this way all the time. This is the most efficient way to get to it is your Google search bar. Thanks, Haley. Good luck on your exam. So all the Barrett first year scholarships are stackable. So these should be in addition to what you already get at the university. So this is the list of different scholarships here. And you can kind of see just the amount. Some of them are renewable, some of them are not. Each one has their own thing. So that's the good news about all of these. You can see that the deadline will be February 1st. And obviously to be eligible for a Barrett scholarship, you need to be a Barrett student. So I know a number of you have already applied to Barrett. Fantastic. You should be eligible, you know, if you're admitted in this round to apply for the scholarship. For those of you who have not, this is my encouragement to you to get your application in by this January 15th deadline. So you'll get your application in January 15th. You won't find out from Barrett if you're admitted to Barrett until after February 1st, which means that you would need to apply to these scholarships without knowing if you're going to be a Barrett student or not, essentially. So, but it does keep you eligible. So you have to get it in by January 1st. If you're doing any of our like late consideration deadlines, you would not be eligible for any of these scholarships. As you can see from this page though, there are scholarships for current Barrett students. There are additional scholarships for current Barrett students. So just keep that in mind that once you are here, that's not, you know, there should be additional aid for you. Okay, there is a question if you received a full tuition merit scholarship, and I guess this would apply, let's say you have all of your scholarships covered, like all of your tuition covered. Would additional scholarships be applied to room and board or other fees? Technically, yes, they would be. The way the, okay. I'll answer this and then I'll answer this question about when you're gonna get your notification. So the way the scholarships work, so let's say you get, again, the $10,000 merit scholarship, right? And again, I don't think that's an accurate amount, but it's easy for my math. So I'm sorry. So let's say it's $10,000. I think out-of-state tuition, I want to say it's around like 28,000 right now. Out-of-state tuition. So you would take off the 28,000, right? And you're at 18. Then any additional awards, right, would go towards the remaining 18 balance. After you cover the 18, then it goes into the fees, as the question has asked. After fees, it goes into room. After room, it goes into meal plan. And then if there's still a balance after that, then they would actually cut a check to you. So that's kind of the order of operations when it comes to your scholarship covering different items. So I hope that helps. So yeah, if you do get additional scholarships and they are stackable, again, you can add them on, you're getting the ones that you can add on top of that aid, then it should continue to cover the remaining balance. Okay. The question on, sorry, I'm going to answer this one and then I promise I'll get to the deadline one. If you retake the SAT or ACT to get a better score, is there a deadline for that? I think, Asuka, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think you have until you get here to make a correction for that.
I think until you actually start your class.
Yeah, I think until you actually start your classes, that should be correct. I will double check on that though. Because but I'm pretty sure it's until you start your classes, you should be good. You can like retake the exam and do that. But I would say, please play with the scholarship estimator and see how much you may need to improve or what kind of score you would need to make a difference in your scholarship. If you already have the New American University President Scholarship, that is the highest tier. So if you have that one already, then, whether you send in a test score or not, it's not going to make a difference because you have the highest one. So I'll just kind of put that out there for you. Thanks for answering that question. Yeah, for the deadline, for those of you who apply by November 1st, you will find out December 18th by 5 p.m. or at 5 p.m. What the decision will be. Okay, if you were accepted, let me see here. So I answered that. Okay, if you were accepted into ASU and got a scholarship, and you get accepted into ASU Barrett, will all the scholarship and merit scholarship transfer? Yes. So ASU Barrett, we're within the university itself. So it's not, so everything that you already have from the university should apply towards, what you're doing in Barrett. When you're in Barrett, the only cost difference to you will be our college fee. So we had talked about that earlier. Your base, your scholarship first covers the tuition itself, then it goes into fees, then it goes into housing, then it goes into the meal plan. So, yeah. Oh, these are all really good. Okay, so when you get admitted to Barrett, then you'll have that additional fee. But the merit scholarship that you already have, depending on which one it is, it may be covering parts of that, or, that may be something that you're going to earn more scholarships to cover. All right, National Merit Scholarship at ASU. Yes, happy to talk about this. With National Merit, there is a deadline now. I think it is January. Asuka, can you remind me, is it January?
What was that?
Like you need to apply to ASU by, I want to say it's mid-January.
I think it's the same as the Barrett. Isn't it like a January 15th?
January 15th. Can you double check that? I think we have it in our, All right, so with the National Merit Scholarship, the way it works is that you have to apply to ASU by that January date. That one's basically like you should definitely get that scholarship if you are a National Merit finalist. The way that will work then, so currently everyone's in semifinalist status. There are a few, like obviously if you're National Hispanic. So National Hispanic, the African American one, and then there's also one for like rural small towns, all these other different categories of National Merit. So National Hispanic students, I know you all are already named finalists right away. If you're National Merit, however, there are additional steps. So the way it'll work is that you would first need to, National Merit's going to ask you, well, first you need to qualify for finalist status. When you qualify for finalist status, they will ask you what's your top choice school. That's when you would actually list ASU as your top choice school. In March, National Merit starts sending lists to the university of which students have named ASU as their top choice. So in March, that's when your financial aid package is going to get repackaged into the National Merit Award. So that being said, temporarily, you will probably have a placeholder like a New American University President Scholarship, New American University Provost Scholarship. That will be a placeholder. So I like to tell students, don't get too excited and don't get too disappointed, because don't get excited because that's not stacking with the National Merit Award. And don't be disappointed because that's not the National Merit Award. So I hope that helps and clarifies some of the steps there. If you do have more questions, I think Asuka's going to leave our email addresses in the comments area. So shoot me an email and I'm happy to like walk through your situation specifically as well. Question on how do you see your ASU scholarship after you get admitted? So your My ASU portal is that really is your gateway to the university. Under your finances, so when you log in, one of the top tabs that you have there is finances, and you can see your proposed like financial aid in that area. The other thing is that typically ASU sends an actual printed mailed letter to you with your scholarship. Because so far, right, FAFSA we haven't started packaging FAFSA yet. That deadline hasn't rolled around. So right now you're just getting the merit scholarship. After you turn in your FAFSA, in spring, typically again around like that March-ish time, February, March-ish time, you will get your full financial aid package. And so that would include the loans, student worker positions, etc. Okay. And I know we're running over time, so I'm going to try to answer these as quickly as possible. Kyla, I'm going to look into that for you. Please, I'm going to go ahead and drop my email for you in here. And then if you can email me, let's look into that specifically to make sure it does. My gut response is yes, but I don't want to promise anything. Okay. Question, can students who apply to the early action deadline for Barrett apply to Barrett Scholarship, or is that until after? No, you can apply to those now. I mean, you have until February 1st, so if you want to wait till after December 18th to apply, you can. But if you want to work on those now, I don't really see any harm in that. Oh, congratulations on you who got your scholarship already. Is there a way for you to get a higher merit scholarship, or it is based on your A board GPA? So remember on that scholarship estimator, there was only those classes listed. That means those are the only classes ASU is considering for merit scholarship. Okay, and the question here about congratulations on your direct admit status, that's exciting. You are still able to apply to ASU's other scholarship. And then no, again, you don't have to wait to be admitted to Barrett to apply to Barrett scholarships. Obviously, if you are not admitted to Barrett, then, you know, we won't be able to consider your application, but you can certainly put in that application now. Okay. Alrighty, I think this is also good too. Do you have to pay the enrollment deposit to receive a mailed merit scholarship offer? You do not. That should come automatically after you have applied to after you've been admitted to ASU. That should be an automatic offer that goes out. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna pause here because we have to get ready for this tour. But these are really fantastic questions. Aska, do you mind putting our email addresses in the chat for everyone? And oh, you already did.
I did. Mm-hmm.
Please shoot me an email for any specifics, because it sounds like there are a lot of specific cases here. I'm happy to walk you through this. And then I also have a direct contact in financial aid. So we can get really accurate information specific to your situation as well. So shoot me an email if there's something in your particular case that you want us to talk about. Oh, Jasmine, great question. We're going to talk about that in the next session. And Jocelyn, technically, yes, it only changes if for whatever reason, like let's say you self-reported your grades and you gave yourself a 4.0 when you actually have a 3.5, that's when it would change. But if you've been accurate with your reporting and if you self-reported, then it should not change. Or if you are sending in official transcripts to ASU, then it should not change. Yeah, unless your grades like massively change, like big time, like you failed out of something. And then that would be a whole other situation. So, okay, I gotta pause here.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I can confirm that for national scholars, you need to apply to ASU by January 15th.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty. We're going to pause. You all are really cool. No, seriously.